You were promised a story about becoming the greatest hero. Bright lights, roaring crowds, a symbol rising above fear. But Izuku Midoriya was never chasing applause. He was chasing permission to exist. In a world where 80% of the population wakes up special, being born quirkless isn't just unlucky, it's isolating, it's humiliating. It's being told gently and repeatedly to lower your expectations. As a child, Deku didn't just admire heroes. He studied them, analyzed them, obsessed over them. Because if he couldn't be powerful, maybe he could at least understand power. And somewhere along the way, he learned a dangerous equation. If you cannot be chosen by nature, you must prove yourself through suffering. So when One for All chose him, it felt like destiny. But it wasn't salvation, it was validation. It told him his years of silent endurance meant something. It told him the tears were training. It told him the pain was preparation. And Deku accepted that message without question. Because the first time he used that power, his body shattered, and he smiled through it. Think about that. His first victory came with broken bones. And instead of fear, he felt relief. Relief that he was finally useful. Relief that he finally mattered. From that moment on, every fight followed the same rhythm. Danger appears. Deku calculates the odds. And then he chooses to absorb the damage himself. Not because he doesn't value his life, but because he values everyone else's more. He doesn't fight like someone who expects to survive. He fights like someone who believes survival is optional. That's what makes him inspiring. And terrifying, because hero society celebrates this. All Might stood tall while his organs failed. He smiled while his time ran out. The world called him the symbol of peace. But symbols are not allowed to be human. Deku inherited more than power. He inherited the performance. So when villains grew stronger and the cracks in society widened, Deku responded the only way he knew how. He carried more, then everything. He isolated himself not because he hated his friends, but because he loved them. He thought distance was protection. He thought loneliness was responsibility. He thought if he just ran far enough ahead, no one else would have to bleed. And slowly, Izuku Midoriya began to fade. His eyes grew hollow. His voice grew colder. His movements more mechanical. He became efficient, precise, unstoppable, but less alive. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The system didn't break him, it shaped him. Hero society doesn't ask who is happiest. It asks who is willing to endure the most. Who can smile through the fracture? Who can collapse in private and still stand in public? Deku was simply the perfect student. Until the moment he wasn't, because something unexpected happens in his story. He doesn't fall to a villain. He doesn't collapse from injury. He is stopped by compassion, by hands reaching out, by classmates who refuse to let him turn into a martyr. For the first time in his life, Deku isn't running toward danger. He's being pulled back from it. And in that moment, something shifts. The narrative changes. Strength is no longer defined by isolation. Heroism is no longer measured in broken bones. For the first time, Deku is allowed to be human, allowed to be tired, allowed to be afraid, allowed to be held. And that might be the most radical thing My Hero Academia ever says. Because the real villain was never just destruction, it was the belief that worth must be earned through suffering. Deku's journey isn't about becoming the strongest. It's about unlearning that lie. It's about realizing that saving people doesn't require self-erasure, That being selfless doesn't mean being disposable, that you can protect others without destroying yourself. And maybe that's why his story resonates so deeply, because somewhere inside, a lot of us learned the same equation. Be useful, be needed, be strong, even if it costs you everything. But Deku's evolution whispers something different. You don't have to shatter to shine. You don't have to disappear to matter. And you were never required to break just to prove you deserve to stand.